Shalom. This is the brother Yahala coming back again with another lesson, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Racha HaKodash. Double honors to elders and apostles, a great millstone that rule well, whom the Lord has set up to teach and preach and demonstrate this word. Shalom to the hopeful elect brothers and sisters that truly believe. And this is early morning walk and talk, of course, with scriptures. Early morning, the birds are singing and praising the Most High. Couldn't help but come outside. The birds was making lots of noise, so decided to get a little early morning exercise before having to toil in the field. Basically, guess the title of this video is "The Stage is Being Set." And what do I mean by the stage is being set? I mean the stage for this Ragma to be implemented. All right, you got many different things in terms of the structure of how we buy and sell things being set up and geared towards a digital network and a digital platform. And this is all leading to that Ragma. All right. And I just let's get a precept real quick. We're going to go to, what type it is. Of his right. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Unless Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Right? So the physical counterpart of Satan is Esau Edom, right? And it says we are not ignorant of his devices. Through the Holy Spirit we can see what he has planned, and the word devices goes back into thoughts, or planning. Okay, when someone says they are one way you could say that you're planning something is you're devising something, right? Keyword device, right? So the digital setup is a part of his thoughts and his plans, because this Ragma has to be connected and to a digital setup in order for it to work, in order for you to phase out cash. So that's a part of the stage being set. Another thing too, and I'm gonna get this. What is it? We're gonna do. Keep walking. Another thing too is see if we can find it real quick. What's it called? Hunger and thirst. Right, and this is really, the benefit of these lessons and these videos is really for the elect, of the nation of Israel. It's not for the other nations, right? They're not included in the promises. They're not included in, the things that are of benefit, all right, to the Israelites, to the people of the Lord. So, I want to get this, because this is a part of our curse, and this is a setup. This is what, our people, we're in this situation, and this is going to be used to the advantage of this devil. So this is also part of the device, right? Deuteronomy 28:48 says, "Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, that he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee." Now, first and foremost, this is talking about slavery. Where we had yokes of irons upon our neck, where they stripped us, that we had us chained up and stripped us down butt naked. Had us in a combine where they would, measure how thick our thighs was and how strong our glutes was and all these different things to see whether or not we would be a great so-called asset, a great slave, all right, to work on their plantations, right? But hey, we're not enslaved in chains now. We're enslaved by bonds through paper, right? But all the different things that we have need of, food, water, right, which those are the necessities to live, food, water, right? And outside of that, wisdom, right? It all comes from what? This devil. That's where it's coming from. So, with that being said, this devil's going to use the fact that society, and especially Jake, is dependent on him. Salaki, crossing the street. Society, and especially Jake, is dependent on him. All right? He's going to use that fact to put the squeeze or the chokehold on the people, right? So that's why you have this man-made food shortages, this famine that's on the rise, which is all according to prophecy, by the way, right? Once again, the stage is being set. The digital infrastructure is being set up to phase out cash so that they have good reason, so they can implement that C-Ragma. The food shortages is on the rise, right? So that they can have something basically to coerce you or tempt you with, right? By having you to be hungry and starving, right? That's also a part of the plan. All right, and so basically, if you don't take this seed ragma, you are going to starve to death, or your family's going to starve to death, right? Also, let's get this too. Since we were really through the spirit going here anyway. It's Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Right? So here in America, which that's that beast, right? The old Roman structure is structured the same way of the Democrats and the Republicans today equal the plebeians and patricians of ancient Rome. Letting you know that America is the revival of the ancient Roman Empire, right? But these politicians, two horns represent those two opposing powers or opposing forces, right? The horn represents power, right? Two horns like a lamb. A lamb is innocent, smooth, soft, and cuddly, right? And this is how these politicians speak. They speak they speak as if they're in favor of those of the rich, which is the Republicans, or in favor of the working class, which would be the Democrats. They say good things about what they're going to change to benefit these different groups of people, but when they get into office, what they actually write into legislation, or what they actually sign, the bills that they sign off on, is draconian, like speaking as a dragon, right? Those decrees that are written into paper and enacted, all right, to limit your freedom, and for harsh punishment, okay, if you don't comply with the standard and the agenda here in America. So that's once again, stage being set, unrighteous decrees being written into law, right? Man-made food shortage, okay? Digital setup is all being set. The stage is being set for what? We get this. Right, this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. This is talking about the elect. The elect are going to keep the word of the patience of the Lord. Now, what does the word patience mean? It means the quality of suffering. So, because thou hast kept the word of my suffering, right? Being obedient unto the Lord until the end, and suffering everything that comes with it. Right? Because the Lord suffered, we have to suffer too. So there's Slovakia. Shoulders are kind of tight. So there's no the servant is not greater than the master. Right? It says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. That's when they make the C-Ragma mandatory. Now, how is it going to be an hour of temptation? Right? They might snatch you up, throw you in the back of the paddy wagon, haul you off, put you in chains, and bring you before government officials, before some of these elites. Right? Grab your family up, you and your family, and say, if you don't comply with us, if you don't denounce your faith, we're gonna kill your family, or we're gonna kill you. Oh, well, we're gonna torture you. We're gonna chop off your head. That's gonna be a temptation, right? They're gonna try and play off of your flesh, right? Or you could be in a situation where you run out of food. There's no food to eat. And then they say, oh, well, if you don't comply with us, we're gonna, well, basically, if you don't get to see Rachma, you can't get any assistance. You can't get any food. You can't get any water. So that's going to be temptation. And if you take the seed Ragba, that's a sin that you'll be destroyed for, because you're pledging your allegiance unto the elites and saying that basically that he's your power, he's your God. The Lord's going to punish many Israelites for that. So that's the temptation that's going to come with that. It says, which shall come upon all the world. It's going to come upon all the world, everybody in the world, man. Right? But where it most matters is the Israelites. It says to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this is all being set up for that hour of temptation. Now, though E thinks he's doing it on his own accord, he has no idea that the Most High is controlling his every move. Right? So he's not doing everything according to his own power, but according to the command and power of the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Right? So this is what's being set up. We can see it in society. Another thing too, uproars of the people is also a part of the plan. They try to put tension between the people to cause chaos, so they can bring something that seems like a solution, right, but is really enacting their agenda, the reordering of all society, right? So let's get Second Ezra real quick, chapter 9. And verse 1. And it says, 2 Ezra 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So we see it. Alright, it says measure thou the time diligently. How do you measure it? It tells you when you see part of the sign pass, right, which I've told you before. So the different signs, the different things to look for, the different prophecies of the end, those are the signs. When we see part of it pass, then we know that the Lord is starting to visit the earth, right, that we're at the end, right? So you measure the times by prophecy. All right, and the next major prophecy is that mandatory seed Ragma. All right, that's the major one. Okay, the major prophecy right before leading up to the climax of the plot, man. Right? What's the climax? The Lord Yahweh Shai returning and subduing all nations and destroying America. Then it's all downhill from there. Right? It says verse 3. Therefore, I'll read verse 2 again. Then shalt thou understand that it's the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people, in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right? So, uproars of the people. We see lots of that all around the world. Marching and rioting and fires and people rebelling and against their government and their law enforcement and military. And that's coming to America. We see that starting here too in America. The uproars of the people. Right? Which creates what? Chaos. And these elites, they go off of order out of chaos. Right? But they cause the chaos. You got these different situations in terms of a racial, so-called racial situation. You know, police, so-called police brutalities, and some of these are real, others are fake. Right, man-made. Right, to bring tension. All right, between us, you know, Israelites and the Edomites. Right, all these different things, just so this devil can bring order, so-called order, quotations, back to society. So uproars of the people, once again, it's a part of the stage being set. Right? The Most High is the producer, right? The one who wrote the play, wrote the movie, and we're all on the stage as as actors or characters that have their part. Script already written and downloaded into our mainframe, right? So there you go. The stage is being set, right? And this is what we're coming into. So Lord will you are edified. With that, shalom.